ready. And let's see who we got today. So, at the bottom right location on Moongulvier, we're going to be having Naugrim as the White Zerg player, and his opponent is going to be Radek at the bottom left location, playing, sorry about that, playing as the Brown Terran. Yes, it was not casted before, so we're going to be doing that now. So, let's see. We got Moongulvier. This is going to be a Terran versus Zerg. Interesting about that. So, for those of you who don't know the map, it seems as Radek has a problem with that as well. You have a natural that is relatively easy to start with, however it has more than one opening, pretty wide entrance here, as well as a smaller one up here. And usually a third would come right from there. So, let's see how this plays out, because the first thing that you have to notice is that the center is actually relatively open, so it's quite easy to find something like a flank for the Zerg. Unfortunately, there isn't that much place to abuse outside of the natural for the Mutalisks. As you can see, even there's a place for the turrets or things like these, so Mutalisks probably are not the best option here. However, it is definitely something still to take in consideration. So, let's see how they're going to open up. We see here that a 9 pull is coming up from Naugrim. Huh. It's an interesting beginning because, yes, it's from forever ago probably. It's an interesting opening because 9 pull basically against Terran, usually you want to do some damage. And if you don't do any damage, it's going to be quite bad for Naugrim. It's going to put him quite behind on his economy. Now we see a double racks opening from Radek, which is going to be pretty good against 9 pull, but interestingly enough, generally speaking, 2 racks openings are not too popular anymore because usually Terrans prefer to go for the early natural to get a better economy at the beginning. So, we'll have to see. We'll have to see about that. Okay, so far, apart from the 9 pull, let's see what we got. We got Lings, and more Lings. 8 Lings already coming up. I don't think it's not on my end, the freezing, so if you can, maybe use a different browser, because it's probable it's on your end. I'm actually also having open the stream just in case it crashes, so I can see it, and so far it seems like it's pretty fluid. Alright, so more Lings. Now, the SCV did see the Zerglings, so Radek should be able to react in time. Now, 3 SCVs... I don't know, it seems like a little bit on the low side. Let's see how that goes. 1 Marine and 3 SCVs? Oh my god. Oh, Zerglings actually do get in. Now, with good micro, you can still salvage this as a Terran. You can see that he's using already the barracks to kind of survive this attack, and so far it's not going that bad, considering how badly it started, but the Zerglings are still flooding in, so, yeah, okay. The SCVs now are going to try to keep alive this Marine. At the same time, Naugrim is taking his natural expansion, so definitely it's not going to be full all-in on the Zerglings. So, it did kill a few Marines, but nothing more than that, and with 2 barracks, this is probably not going to be a big problem for Radek. Now, there's still Zerglings streaming in, and speed should be finishing. There we go, there's speed. Now, 2 Zerglings in the main, that's not a big concern yet. That's something that you can definitely manage. We can see already Radek trying to pull off his SCV so that they don't get sniped. And so far, not the worst. Yeah, so far pretty good. Now, you still have to be careful about a possible run by a lot more Zerglings. We can see that there's actually a good amount of them. But unfortunately, Naugrim is leaving like a good amount of Zerglings at the back and only coming with few of them. So yeah, this is just a poke to find out how many Marines actually there are. So far, Radek is supply blocked, but so far he's still surviving this. So it's kind of okay. Now, we do see the no lair yet, a 3rd hatch before lair. So it seems like Naugrim decided that he wants to go kind of economy based after this, not rushing really fast for those mutas or maybe even lurkers. So interestingly enough, this actually gives room for Radek to expand himself, and bear in mind that he is at a decent SCV count. We do see only 10 drones against 18 SCVs, so not the best situation definitely for Naugrim. He'll have to come back with this somehow. He is pumping drones and he has some speed links, so he can definitely block, kind of get some survivability out of them, but it's not the best situation. We see, maybe? Seems like a creep colony probably going to be started right away. You have to be careful with this amount of zerglings, because with 2 barracks, very soon this can become a problem. However, the gas is only now started to be mined, and we don't see an academy yet. So without an academy, this probably means that we will still have to wait until there is fire bats, and especially medics. So, creep colony is up. Probably not going to make a sunken until the units actually do move. And we do see a bunker by Radek. Kind of standard at this point, probably because he really doesn't know what Naugrim is going for. If it would be a full-blown Zergling all-in, the bunker is definitely needed. Alright, so Natural is about to finish for Radek. There we got the academy. So until the academy is done, until Stin is done, Naugrim is relatively safe. But if he doesn't take a third pretty much right away, he's not gonna have too much, because he's making now the lair. So the lair's kind of 50% done. And with that timing, I think that you can actually get stim and range for the Marines before you get attacked by the Mutalisks. You should definitely have time to get the turrets, especially because Radek is not fully aware of how fast actually the turret was finished. We see some Zerglings trying to get in here. Doesn't seem like they're going to be doing too much. Okay. This is kind of poking around probably. But still, what we see, more drones. And now we do have 2 creep colonies. And we have the lair. What is the spire? Okay, so the spire is at the 3rd, trying to hide it. And more drones. This is a very heavy kind of drone start. It definitely is going to require probably 2 more creep colonies by the time that the turn actually moves out, because this is not a small amount of Marines. And we do see a fire, but only 1 medic, 2 medics. Okay, so for 2 medics, I think it's kind of close, but it should be okay. So the first push is going to come up. And we'll see what that goes. Now we see some Zerglings here and some here, trying to find, maybe to run into the main. We'll see about that, but the scan is already coming up. Unfortunately, I mean, you should be starting this... Okay, there are the Sunkens. I mean, it did take quite a while. If this stims and runs in... Oh, there it is. There is the delay with the Zerglings. So, the Zerglings did manage to delay this, and with that, 2 Sunkens are finished, and the 3rd one finished. Very nice time so far by Naugrim. Oh, wow. Actually, 1 medic snipe for a few Zerglings. Probably worth it. It's interesting, though, that Naugrim felt so brave about going against the medic, because the medics actually do have 1 armor, so they do actually tank a little bit more. Now, Radek is deciding to go home with this. And with the Spire finishing right now, this probably makes a lot of sense. We do see the turret timing very well timed, so probably not gonna take much damage from the Mutas unless there's no defense in the main. So that's okay. There is 1 turret, and yeah, that's about it so far. Now we do see, interestingly, this is very cool because you have only 2 barracks. Usually when you do something like a very fast fast expansion, you usually get more barracks, like 4 barracks or something like this. In this case, it's a fast port, probably to get to vessels really fast. So we'll get to that. Why is many cats paw? Well, we might talk about that in the break between games. I can tell you then that. And let's see, those mutas are going to be... That's actually how many? 11 mutas. So the economy definitely paid off for the amount of mutas to get a good amount of Mutalisks. And with that, there is a possibility to do actually a lot of damage. We see 3 turrets in the natural. That's not enough to really defend against so many mutas, although the bunker is definitely going to help. But in the main, okay, 2 turrets here. That's definitely possible to micro with 11 mutas, but so far it seems like Naugrim is having a little bit of problems with this. And we see already Radek going for the 3rd. So he will be able to cancel it. Even if the mutas actually fly right to it, this hatchery is going to go down to this Marine Medic Force. So with the 3rd denied, it's not going to be an easy game for Naugrim, that's for sure. Now, is he actually starting to get lurkers? Yes, he is. He is getting armor as well as he is getting lurker upgrades. So he will eventually have the time to get lurkers. Unfortunately, there is another problem for Naugrim, and this small army, since it didn't commit to the Sunkens and it's already on the map, plus the fact that there's going to go for fast vessels, might be problematic. Now Naugrim is trying to micro this out. Not going so well for him now. Okay, first Marine, two more Marine, one more Marine. Okay, not too bad. One meter goes for that. It's not going the best situation for Naugrim, unfortunately. That's better. That's better. Oh my God! A lot of mutas. A lot of mutas are going down. This is not good. You do really want to keep those mutas alive if possible. So. Ooh. Oh no. I mean, sure, you do kill this force. Unfortunately, for this amount of mutas, they no longer are a threat on the map, and we can see that Radek through this time has been able to pump up a good amount of Marine medic. Even with only 2 barracks, this force isn't terribly scary, but it's definitely something relatively good. And Valkyrie siege tanks. Okay. So the Valkyrie is definitely going to be really awesome against the mutas, but since there's only 7 of them, probably not the biggest deal. And we do have lurkers already finished. The armor upgrade isn't done yet. How far off is it? There's still a little bit of time until the upgrade is done. But it definitely is going to be a good transition if you get enough lurkers. So, an overload is going to go down, and the third is going to be re-established right about now. So, okay, we do have Naugrim now probably going to try to set a trap. But with that scan, yeah, the lurkers are kind of off place. So let's see where this army goes. If it goes for the third, he might actually intercept it with the lurkers, but if it goes for the natural... Oh, it's not stopped lurkers. So with that, Radek should know that he has to be very careful against possible lurkers. Okay, so he's actually trying to hunt down these lurkers, which, I mean, it's a good idea overall, but he's already transitioning to a different style, so maybe he could try to do some damage with his force rather than trying to kill a unit or two, because these lurkers can reposition eventually, and when they do, yeah, basically the time that Naugrim is actually getting from this is pretty big, because this amount of defense was not too big, and we have a ton of Zerglings being produced, and Hive is going to be researched, so this is a 12-minute Hive, so that's relatively fast considering how slow the lair was. And it seems like it's going to be mech for Radek, so he's going to Vulture tank, but well, Marines are not produced so far. Let's keep an eye on this. Let's see if he's going to go this kind of bio-mech style, or if he's just going to go full mech. Because I feel that 3 factories... Okay, there's the 4th. 4 is still a little bit too little for 2 bases. I think you usually get 5 with something else, or 6 if you're going to be pushing really hard. Okay, definitely the Valkyries are going to be very helpful against the mutas, so they don't actually give a problem from that perspective. And some tanks, some vultures. Okay, so that's relatively good for Radek so far, but the upgrades are going to be maybe something to keep in mind as well. He is on 1-1 for his mech already, so that's something quite big. Now, you see this concave here? This is trying to wrap around this army, and it's not a bad concave, but unfortunately it's gonna get caught off place, so... Okay, so Naugrim is trying to get ready that attack, and oh... That doesn't work so far, and... Ooh! Okay, so the tanks are going to be caught from the behind, and actually this is a good amount of lurkers, so this probably should gonna stop it, yeah. This is going to completely shut down this aggression. So, Naugrim actually very easily cleans this up. And with that, with the third being established, and at the same time he can actually right now start to look into something else, and especially saturate this base, I think Naugrim is in a pretty decent position. Now, we do have some more vultures laying mines, so Radek is already anticipating the Hive, and possibly Defilers. Do we have the Defiler mount? Yep, it's done. Kasumi is being researched, not yet done. And we do see 2 evos. So far, only 1 is upgrading, but there is already 2 evos, so that's pretty decent. And, okay, we do have vultures fighting lurkers. They usually don't do too well, but with this amount, it's not a big problem now. Okay, the lurker is gonna come down here. This vulture probably should go to the main. Ooh. Okay, so the mutas go down, and a lot of vultures now can try to run into the third. Now, they will kill the drones, but the hatchery, that's difficult to know. that's difficult to know yet, because the damage is not too big, and it seems like the Nidus is going to be uncontested, so it's going to be finished. But this doesn't seem to be the exit point. It seems like it's only the starting point, so there's no units coming through it yet. And we see that Radek is actually now starting to attack it so that nothing comes out from it. But for that price, he actually does allow, without too much trouble, for losing a few vultures. So it seems like this position should be defended. Now, Radek is floating quite a lot of minerals. Probably a lot of this micro was through it. But Naugrim, on the other hand, since he's only on 2 bases, he's actually managed to keep his money pretty low. We see at the same time that Radek is getting a third, but taking it is going to take a little bit of effort, because any position that Radek wants to take as a third is going to be quite far off. Oh, we do see a Matrix Vulture trying to kill some gas. Well, nothing so far, but... And another Vulture run by is probably going to try to get ready. Oh, that's bad. Ow, that's bad, that's bad, that's bad. Oh, only one? Well, not so far it's not that bad. It could have been a lot worse. It could have been so much worse. Okay, so we do see actually 2 command centers at the same time. Ooh, okay. That mine. But we see that actually Radek is getting pretty good in the supply count. If we look at this, it's relatively good for him because he's losing a lot of units, but at the same time he's denying all the time the economy. So he's definitely getting some work done. And at the same time, since he did take the third, and so far I'm not sure that Naugrim actually noticed the SCVs running through here, so it should be relatively safe for now. And at the same time, he did make another command center, so he might take more expansions than he can defend, and if something goes wrong, he just evacuates the base that is being attacked. Now, the fighters are done, the Zerglings are running around, but there's also a lot of mines, and this is mech, so... Ooh, big blow. So this is definitely not an easy push yet, but it can work. It can work eventually. Oh, that's not the place that you want to put, yeah, because there's mines. Okay. Seems like Naugrim remembers that the mines were actually placed down here, and during all of this, although this base is not too safe because the vultures can still run in, there is some coverage from the lurkers. Oh, that's not the best idea. Alright, so one lurker goes down, and the other one will go down, but with the Zerglings, and at the same time the Filer, yeah, that's relatively safe. And there's another lurker down here. Although again, the drones are again being killed. So the problem here is that the economy of Naugrim isn't getting any better. Well, the Filer tries to run for his life, doesn't make it. So let's look at the base from Radek, because we haven't been here for quite a while, and we see 7 factories. So that's a good amount of factories, definitely. We do see a decent amount of expansions. This is mech, so, and even the Valkyries are still finding some damage. So. Not going well, not going well. Naugrim, unfortunately, even though he has the tech, he doesn't actually have the economy to keep up with what Radek is doing. I think that if Radek can keep the pressure up, eventually Naugrim is going to crumble, because there's not enough units for Naugrim to actually be able to be aggressive on the map once scorched. So it definitely is not going to be the easiest thing to pull off. Oh, will it connect? Nope. Doesn't connect. Vessel's still alive. And anything else so far? The thing is that so far Naugrim is not able to take any lead on the map. Like, everything that's going on in the map is going for Radek. So not good, not good. I mean, the game is... Naugrim is holding very well, but if he doesn't get a 4th and a 5th relatively fast, he's just not going to have the economy to combat this. Oh, and the Defiler does go down. Although, a lot of vultures are being sacrificed, and once the vultures are dead, even Zerglings are relatively decent against this kind of composition. They're not perfect if you have only 4 of them, but... Okay, good. So with that, basically, that base is probably going to be defended. And some more units coming from Naugrim. Basically Zerglings so far. Do we have anything else? No, just... Mostly Zergling, Lurker, and Defiler. Now... It's a very difficult style to play. You have to be on point with everything, and we can see that Radek is taking bases pretty much like the Zerg should. So, Not the easiest thing. Also, you can see that vultures can get anywhere really fast, so just Zerglings are not gonna deny a base. Either this one or this one. A lot of bases for Radek coming down. A lot of bases. Now, what can actually... I mean, Naugrim definitely needs to attack the base from the Terran rather than the economy, I think. At this point, it's going to be so difficult to actually be able to break the economy since there's so many bases. That defiler trying to make a way for itself until someplace safe. Oh, unfortunately not gonna make it. We've seen that for a very long time Naugrim has not even been able to reach 100 supply, so very difficult for him, very hard to get through this now, especially with so many mines and even so many tanks. There's just a little bit too much on the map, so even the mines alone are going to be quite problematic for this force. And we see already trying to aim the Volt. Yes. Oh, yeah, that's good. The Defiler. So Defiler's most of the time just not even like vessels, just sniping with some vultures. Oof. I mean, it's still more cost efficient for Naugrim since every time that they trade, it seems like Radek drops more in supply, but. And another force just coming in, gonna snipe the Defiler, and I think this probably might be lights out. Yeah, so as we can see, the Nidus was targeted first, or even not targeted, maybe the tanks just blew it over. And with this, with 3-2 upgrades, and with the third going down, I don't see that Naugrim has much chance to this, unfortunately. It started relatively okay for Naugrim, even with this kind of like weird style of 9 pool, but right now, yeah, just not too good. And Radek especially was able to actually stop the aggression relatively well. Then the Nidus didn't do any damage. The third was cancelled. A lot of things went not well for Naugrim at the beginning of the game. So, there isn't too much more to say about this game. So, we can still see, I mean, Naugrim is still trying to fight back into it, but you can see it, guys, in the supply. It's pretty clear that Naugrim would have to... I mean, even if he somehow manages to even kill the entire force or something like that, or even kill some bases or some economy, it still probably won't be too much of a problem for Radek since the bases are running dry. Basically nothing in the main, pretty much nothing in the natural. The third is really exposed right now. You see, he scans it, sees it, sends some units down there to clean it up. Well, yeah, okay. So Naugrim does realize that it's kind of futile. And a pretty decent game so far. Not bad, not bad. Pretty good. Pretty well played by Radek, definitely. Nice game. Nicely done. Well, let's get